So you've got the fields looking a bit more exciting. Back into the program. What we need to do is we need to make the price come up with the 0 here. So I'm going to format the number. So I'll come back into the program, and the number that I want to format is in this variable here. So I'm just going to come in to the front of it, and I'm going to write format, and I'm going to put the variable in brackets. I'll just say that. Now I need to say what format I want the number to be in, and in particular I want 2 decimal places. And the way you do this in LiveCode is you put quotes. Let's put the close of the quotes, and then I put a comma. And in here I'm going to specify that I want 2 decimal places. And I use a % sign, and I'm going to put a 0.2f. And what that means, I'll just zoom in on it so you can see it a bit better, is the % says that it's a number. The 0 before the decimal point just says put whatever's in before the decimal point. Then you've got your decimal point, and the 2 is saying that I want 2 decimal places. And then F stands for floating point number, and we'll talk more about that later, but basically it means numbers that have a decimal point in them. This one doesn't, but this one did. So I'm going to format the price of the coffees with 2 decimal places. So I'll just save that, go back onto my user interface and choose the Run tool, click on the button, let's do 5 coffees, and now you can see I've got the 0 in there. That field still needs to be a bit bigger, so I'll just bring it out here and go back to the Run tool. So I have the number of coffees, how much the coffees cost, and that's what this code does. So if I wanted to do another item in the cafe, I could copy all this and put in another button and just use the same code, but maybe change it to number of rolls or number of carrot cakes or something like that. But let's do a little bit of work on the user interface first of all. So I'm going to go onto the card, and I'm going to go to Object, Card Inspector, and I'm going to change the colour of the card, the background colour, so I'm going to click on there, and I'm going to choose that blue. So I'll go, there we go. Now it'd be quite nice if these didn't have the white surround, so I'm going to go on to this field, and I'm going to go back to Basic Properties, and I'm going to make it like that, and I don't want to show the border. So now I just have 5, and I could move that field there. If you don't like it, just stick the opaque back on again so you can see the surround, and there's our border. So I'm just going to take the opaque off. I think I'll do the same thing with this field. So I've got 5 coffees, they cost £10.50. Now the next thing I want to do is to try and get a cup of coffee on this button here. So I'm going to do something called skinning. So I'm going to go to a different card, so I'm going to go to View, and I'm going to go to the next card. So do you see I'm looking on card 2. Don't worry, I've still got this one there, and I think I'm just going to save what I've got so far just in case it goes wrong. So go on to this next card, and in here I'm going to bring in the pictures that I want to use on my user interface, and I'll collect them all here, and then I'll be able to use them as and when I need them. So I'm going to go File, Import as Control, Image File. Now I just happen to have in Carla's Cafe, I've got this PNG cup of coffee. So there it is there, right? Now, it's quite big. If we put that on the button in the other card, then it would come up that big. So I'm just going to resize it, and I'm going to hold the Shift key down so that it resizes proportionately. And I think that's a good size for my cup of coffee. But before I go back to the other card, I'm going to go on to Basic Properties, Size and Position, and I'm going to lock that size and position. And if you don't do that, then you'll find it just goes huge again when you're not looking. So I've locked its size and position. I'm going to go back to View, go to the first card. I'm going to pick up that button. So I've got its property inspector here, and I'm going to go on to Icons and Borders, and I'm going to choose from this stack that picture. So that's still quite large, isn't it? Maybe not. If you think it's too large, you can go back, View, go Next Card. Let's just make it a bit smaller. And we won't be allowed to do it because it's locked. So I'm just going to unlock it, resize it, lock its position, go back to the first card, and you'll see it's quite small now, but we need to get rid of all this lot around here. So I'm going to go on to this button, go on to Basic Properties. I want it to be opaque, so I can't see it, and I don't want to see the name, and I don't want the border. So let's see if we can find the border. That's Graphic Effects. Not on there. Let's try border. There's border. Let's take the border off. So we've just got our cup of coffee. So let's just save that. And let's see if the program still works. So I click on the coffee. How many coffees? Let's do 6 coffees. And they're going to cost £12.60. So there's the program. And I'm going to stop the video so you have a chance to work on your user interface and get it looking more like that.